Look at this old relic, just tucked away in a little shed here. Wow, look at the front grille on this. This is old school. Check it out. That is old school. That's 1930s. That is 1930s. This is a vintage model without a shadow of doubt. Let's have a look at what model this is. We're at the base of Hatterrall Hill, guys and girls. It's a Ferguson. It's a Massey Ferguson, an early Massey Ferguson. Look at that. Isn't that pretty awesome? I doubt if it runs. One of the old steel seats there. See how it sounds. These old metal steering wheels. The controls are very simple. Wow, that's fantastic. That's what I wanted to show you. This old Massey Ferguson. How about that, Andy?
I wonder where that was parked.
I know. It doesn't go, does it? It doesn't work. I wouldn't have thought so. But look at the grille on it.
Yeah.
That's old school, isn't it?
When do you reckon? 60s?
30s.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
1930s, 40s.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an old design, isn't it?
Primitive, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks quite primitive design. Alright, let's go, guys. Yeah, so the last time I was up here in March is when I hurt my shin. I went tabbing and did a bit of running with £30 on my back, and it took my whole year out. Getting stronger now though. So we're going to walk this track just for quarter of a kilometre or so, and then we're onto the Hatterrall Hill then. Well, we're on the Hatterrall Hill now. Yeah, ideal day for it. Might be a bit windy on top. But that's okay. It's all good. Possibly get some views of Herefordshire, because Hatterrall Hill is really on the border of three counties. Powys on the western side of the ridge, because it's a 10-mile long whaleback ridge, the Hatterrall Ridge, named after the Hatterrall Hill, all the way to Hay Bluff, I'd say, Black Hill. And if you remember, back in March of last year, I camped on top of the highest point of the ridge, which is the Black Mountain at 703 metres. That was a good camp. It was at 2,306 feet. And as I say, I ran tabbed back this way the following morning and done my shinning. And my ankle, I've had an ankle impingement too, so yeah. Well, it's good to be back. We've got wild ponies on top of here. I can see the wild ponies here now. Welsh cob ponies. Hopefully get a good view of the ponies. They go back 1600 BC, something like that, in Wales. So they've been around a long time on these hills. So it's Edward Thomas. Today I want the sky. Nothing but the sky. Edward Thomas.
As Andy and I head up to the top of the hill towards the trig point, I'd like to say that later I discovered that Edward Thomas was a renowned Welsh poet. We could barely see the words written on the side of the outbuilding there. But the poem was called The Lofty Sky. And as we head up towards the top of the hill, I'm going to keep the video running, and I'm going to turn it down a little bit, but I'm going to keep the fierce wind going because we drop down into shelter on the other side, looking east. And as you might expect, it creates a nice contrast and kind of adds to this poem. I'm going to read a few lines of the poem now by Edward Thomas, The Lofty Sky. It goes something like this. Today I want the sky, the tops of the high hills, above the last man's house, his hedges and his cows, where, if I will, I look down even on sheep and rook. And of all things that move, see buzzards only above, past all trees, past furze and thorn, where night deters the desire of the eye, for sky, nothing but sky. It's a wonderful poem, and it continues, as does Andy and I, through the fierce wind. So I'll leave you now with the fierce wind as we drop down into shelter.
We're on the eastern side of the hill now, and we're looking at Herefordshire. What a wonderful view this morning. So yeah, the difference, if I poked my head up above this dip, would be stark. Because yeah, the wind is fierce, but this is absolutely glorious. The light is just dancing off everything today. The Skirrid, the Sugarloaf, the Hatterrall Hill, Cwmyoy, just beyond here on the west. That's called Edward's Tump over there. That's in Monmouthshire. That's Monmouthshire. That's Garway Hill, right in front of you. We were there the other week. If you haven't seen the video, it's only 2.5 minutes. I'll put a link up above and down below. That's all about the views looking back this way, where we're sat now. So yeah, this is Herefordshire. So we're bordering Monmouthshire and Herefordshire here. How beautiful. We're just having a brew with Mr. Andrew Bradley. Here we are. Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice and mellow.
Tastes good.
Yeah. Out of the wind. Okay, I'm gonna have a cup of tea. You don't need to see me drinking a cup of tea. I'll bring you back. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, just cut you down a bit because it's really windy on top. If I poke my head up, well, in actual fact, no, yeah, it's still windy. We're going to walk the ridge for about another kilometre, and we're going to drop down into Cwmyoy, and we're heading for the our old Honddu camp and St Martin's Church at Cwmyoy, the old crooked church. Okay, I'll bring you back. The views up here were fantastic. beautiful old mountain farmhouse. Check this out down here. Wow. How gorgeous. Mind you, they're very competitive. Look at this. Keep away. The boss, eh? That is the boss. Got pretty close, Andy. Yeah, I got a good shot actually. Yeah, of the hill in the background too. He just seemed to pose for us. Just gotta make a quick comment about this absolutely awesome farmhouse. I mean, check out the door there, guys. Check out the door there. This place is very old. This is a very old place. Look at the stone floors. Look at the stone floors. Check this out. Oh, I would say 16th century this, without a doubt. This is really quite an incredible old farm in Cwmyoy. This is right in the valley of Cwmyoy. For my American visitors and subscribers, what do you think of this? This is absolutely wonderful. This has been here a while. It's seen some historical events for sure. I wonder what... Yeah, this is old. Absolutely wonderful. I would definitely say 16th century, without a doubt. We're heading that way. We're not far from our old bivvy site. This is the farmhouse from the front. It's incredible. It truly is an incredible place. The last time I was up here, it was night time, so yeah, we didn't see it. But look at it, it's incredible. That front door. That's old school. Okay, going to continue our walk down the little track, and this is the old cottage where Paul and I bivvied once as we hiked the River Honddu. And do you know what? It's being done up. We caught it when it was old school. You can see these photos now of what it looked like. I wondered how much of it was left. How much of it I would recognise. And yeah, it's changed. People have wow, they are really going to town on this one. Private property, no entry. Never said that before. That's a new sign. Yeah, a lot has changed. You can see they're doing it up. This is where Paul and I bivvied, in front of this cottage. It's all been rendered and brought up to date. Fair bit of money spent on it. So we won't go in, but possibly we'll get a view from this side. And as you can see in the photographs, it is very different. So we'll just go up here. Oh God, blimey, it's different. So different. I preferred it before. In all honesty, I preferred it before. I preferred it as it was. Well, there's nobody working here today, so let's have a good look around. Oh my goodness. The same spot where Paul and I brewed up and just sat and chilled and talked, right in front of the right in front there. Here, I'll just put a photograph and show you. You can still see the the stone floor, but when we were here there was a wall. So I'll just put a photograph just to let you know, just to show you the comparison. So you can see how different it is. Nothing stays the same, does it? How amazing. This is just so different. That's an add-on as well. They've added that on. That wasn't there before. It was just this beautiful stone cottage. And it used to, well, as you could see in that photograph, it had a little veranda type thing. Stone wall there. We put the tarp right there. I'll put another photograph up. You can see where we put the tarp. Yeah, the door's the same. Whoops. Oh, I just got to say, me and Paul brewed up here. Had some nice conversation. And look at this. Look at this letter. Look. Little letter box. Tiny little letters were small back in the day, weren't they? Wow, look at that. Tiny little letter box. Wow. I sat here, Paul sat there, and we just brewed up and made some food and just had a good time of it. Wow, it's worth coming back to these places, right? It really is. So pleased. When I woke up this morning, I was up only a few minutes, and this owl started calling out right outside my living room window from out of the tree. Now, ordinarily, I don't hear the owls call out that closely. They're usually way in the distance. That's the first time an owl has come in that close and called out. And so it was an anomaly, do you know what I mean? It was like a toot toot, a blip, an anomaly. It wasn't in keeping with the bassline symphony, as it were. And I just knew. I said, all right, Paul. I said, you're with me today then? And I was just thinking about the owl now as I left the little cottage. I just shed a tear there. And I still feel quite tearful now. And I just thought about that owl. And yeah, Paul, his spirit is with me, for sure. You know, these walks, it's not just about the great views and, you know, and the action. You know, there are people out there that are seeking their soul, searching deep, aren't there? You know, these walks are about much more than just covering the miles. So yeah, I'm really pleased I came on this walk today, and I'm really pleased I shared that with Andrew. Andy, really pleased I shared it with you. And yeah, I couldn't have been with a better person today. You know, a loving, caring, dear person as Andy. Amazing. Yeah, that was wonderful. That was a touching moment back there. Alright. St Martin's, Cwmyoy Church. I'll see you there. It's always interesting to see where these little tracks emerge. Ah, here we are. I think we're right on target. Here's the little church of St Martin's, Cwmyoy, 12th century. Very, very old. Just hoping the door's open. It's a remote church. I can't see why it wouldn't be open. There it is. There's the crooked church. That's as a result of the landslip. Old glacial landslip many thousands of years ago. And it's they built the church here on what was the landslip. And of course, the landslip continued to slide. And so hence what you got is the wonky church of Cwmyoy. There you go, look. It's 12th century, the original. How about that? The wonky church of Cwmyoy. Let's see if we can get another angle. We're going to have to go around. So yeah, you can see from this angle how wonky it is. They've put supports down there, look. Those supports have been there a while. But yeah, this is the wonky church, the St. Martin's Church, 12th century, 900 years of history here in these mountains. The congregation would have come from the hills, mainly farming community. And by all accounts, wow, this is really amazing. I've thought about this church for a long time. This is my first time here. Brilliant, absolutely love it. Yeah, and all the pilgrims that used to head for Lantony Priory, Lantony Abbey in the Vale of Uis, which is up there. The Vale of Uis isn't far. Well, this is the southern end of the Vale of Uis now. The River Honddu is down below. They used to come here as part of the pilgrimage on their way to St David's in Pembrokeshire, I believe. So it was part of the pilgrimage to come here. Absolutely incredible. 900 years. Okay, I'm just walking away from the church at the present moment because Andy tells me that this is part of a memorial walk and there are inscriptions in the pavement here, so I'm going to have a look at what the inscriptions are. So the first one is, whoops, sorry about that. This was laid in memory. Isn't that funny? Memory. We've just been to the old cottage of, see, there are memorial walks, you see. Mark, and that's my name, Gibbons. Mark Gibbons. 5th of the 5th, 65. He must have been some kind of guy around here locally. 16th of the 9th, 2000. So yeah, he wasn't very old, was he? 2000, 65, what's that? 35 years? Loved by all, and friend to everyone. How beautiful was that? Andy was right. It's worth walking. A memorial walk. That's wonderful. Mark Gibbons. Bless you, Mark. Here we are. This would be a good doss down in here. You know, if you're in the mountains and got caught out. Wow, it's open, guys. A lot of churches nowadays are locked up, aren't they? Wow, this is the 12th century church of Cwmyoy, St Martin's. Wow, it's got a nice atmosphere. It has got a nice atmosphere. Wow. The roof above the nave, it's the first thing that springs to mind, dates back to the 13th, 14th century. I just thought, is that the nave in front, Andrew? Do you know what the nave is? What is the nave? Look how wonky that is. Look how wonky that is. The whole bottom end of this church is wonky, look. Look at that. You can actually see it's veering off over that direction. Now, that's quite incredible. And these windows, all of the windows in this place, date back to the 16th century. So these are 500 years old, these windows. 500 years old, these windows, 16th century. Wow. What a beautiful atmosphere. I love coming into these mountain churches and just looking at the stone flooring. Imagine the amount of people that have walked these stone slabs. Wow. Wow. I wonder how many very poignant sermons have taken place there. And this church is still used, by the way. It's not a redundant church, it's still used. So what do you think of this place then, Andrew?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ancient.
Ancient, yeah.
I'm curious about the congregation and where they would have walked from to come here.
Yeah. All the surrounding hills.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you pointing out the memorial walk, that suggests that there was a lot of love here too, a lot of very close-knit community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mark, I think it said he died in, was it 2000?
2000, yeah, you're right.
It was, wasn't it?
1965 born.
Yeah, so he died in 2000, so he was 35.
Yeah, not very old, eh?
No, but this place was restored 1991.
Was it?
According to a plaque up there.
Oh, right.
And I've just found, I've never seen a Bible as big or as old as the Bible.
Oh, wow, should we take a look? Yeah, yeah. I wonder what the date is then. Wow. Wow, that's an old one, isn't it? How far back is that going, do you reckon?
Belonging to this church.
Wow, check it out. 1920s maybe? 1930s? I don't know. That's old. I wonder if there's a date in there. Doesn't say, probably.
So that's just the lessons throughout the year. First and second daily lessons throughout the year.
Yeah. It hasn't got printed original edition, etc., is it?
Not on the front.
No.
I wonder if there's anything.
But if you look at the design at the front, almost like wallpaper.
Yeah.
I mean, what era does this speak of? Do you think? It's like something you'd find in your really old grandparents' home, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
20s?
Yeah, 20s, 30s.
Oh,
Yeah.
it might even be older.
Might be.
Wow, it's seen some service.
Yeah, it's seen some action, isn't it? There's even across there somebody's left.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Gonna have a break. Get back into the sunlight. I'm not sure how much you can see. Yeah, get back into a bit of light. That's it. Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention one more thing. I can see the crossover. I can see the cross here. Now this cross has been here since the 11th century. It's 11th century, this cross. And it used to be here. And during the Reformation, they buried it in the churchyard in order to prevent it from being discovered. I think it was who was it? Who was reigning during the Reformation? Blimey!
I'll put it up on screen. Might be Henry V or something. But yeah, during the Reformation, they feared that the cross would be found, and they buried it. But in the the 1960s, it was stolen, and it was discovered in an antique shop in London. But here it is now. It's been returned. Look at that. That's 11th century, that. That's been here a long time. Look, set in concrete now. They don't want it to disappear a second time. But yeah. Something called, it's called the Wayfarer's Cross or something. And as I said, pilgrims used to come here. Sandstone. The whole church is built out of sandstone. Which again is back to the Devonian period. Which is between 358 and 419 million years ago. So this church is considerably older, isn't it? That was pretty good in there. Pretty amazing. So me and Andy are just going to sit down and have a bit to eat now. Sat in front of the church here. Vale of Uist that way. Source of the Honddu that way. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a bit to eat, and then we're going to drop down. We're going to walk a little stretch of the Honddu, and then we're going to arc around Hatterrall Hill and back into Pandy. Alright, I'll bring you back, but we're going to finish this vlog shortly. It's been absolutely wonderful. Okay, peace. Still got a red telephone box here. Probably defibrillator. Can't see any books. We're going that way, I think. We're going left, I think, Andy. Yeah. Oh, there are a few books in here. Yeah. There you go, guys. Oh, and there's some DVDs. Oh, I'll tell you what, we could take a movie home. So that's what our telephone boxes are used for nowadays. They're a bookstore and a DVD store. A bit of change in direction. I'm missing a file which drew the walk to an end. So I'll draw the video to an end differently. We're looking at the River Honddu here, flowing past Cwmyoy Church. It's flowing east, and it will flow northeast as a result of a terminal moraine which was created in the last glacial period. It's a beautiful little river, the Honddu. It's worth mentioning. Its source is up near the Gospel Pass, not far from the Gospel Pass, on the interior of Hay Bluff in the Black Mountain. Here's a picture of the source of the Honddu. It's a fantastic little place. Not many people go there because it's off the established trails. But we're going to finish the video here on the River Honddu. Me and Andy walk back in and we have a little break overlooking the Skirrid. So I'll leave you with this little clip of us just sat having a cup of tea waiting for the bus. We're about a mile outside of Pandy. We weren't going to wait on the main road, so we decided to wait here because it was a lot quieter and it was more beautiful, more peaceful. Alright, thanks for joining us on this walk. It was absolutely brilliant. Another good day out on top of the hill. Good memories and a fantastic look at some history and some great views along the way. Alright guys, thanks for your company. It's always appreciated. If you want to like, give it a thumbs up, please do. If you want to comment, you know me, I always get back to you. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I'm always out doing something interesting and it'll be good to hear from you. Okay, peace out. Cheers.
All right.
Hi there.
I had to get you in with the skewered.